Hey fellow babies, welcome back to the Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I'm your host, Michael Pachter, your host and your star and your only actor. I hope that you are watching this real time as a Patreon patron of SIFTD.net. It's inexpensive and it pays the bills and keeps Shane in gasoline, which has come down in price, so that he can come out here. Other ways to help fund Shane's endeavors, you can sign up as a subscriber to our YouTube channel. That's also inexpensive and you'll get this stuff real time. And the third way, which costs you nothing, is to link your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch Prime account. That's a bit more complex and has to be renewed periodically. Please check the description or the instructions in the show description below.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Koocanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
Let's get to today's question from Sifted from Jeremy Lynn, from Jay Lynn. What are your thoughts on the Insomniac Games hack? Do you think Insomniac was targeted for its valuable secrets, or was it just a random attack? Why is the game industry so secretive compared to other industries? Does it make gaming companies more likely targets? The Insomniac hack came a few years, like maybe 5, 6, after the big Sony Pictures hack. The Sony Pictures hack was a target from North Korea that we ultimately were given that evidence. And it was because Sony made a movie, which I forgot the name. It was a direct-to-Netflix film. But it was Seth Rogen and James Franco. And it was about an assassination plot to kill Kim Jong-un, and the government didn't think it was funny, and they didn't want their president targeted for assassination. So they hacked Sony's emails and released everything. You can look this up. It was pretty embarrassing. And actually, the head of Sony studio ended up getting fired over it. I actually think this is more of that. The point is that I think the North Koreans already proved that Sony is not that secure a place to attack. And in fairness to Insomniac, I mean, it's a studio of a couple hundred people. That's just a fact of life that, whatever you do, there are bad people out there. So you've got to be careful with your personal information, because if they can, they're going to hack you. And I'm sure you've all gotten text messages saying, the newest one I'm getting is, we have a U.S. Postal Service package for you and we can't deliver it because we don't have your address. And the text will come from some non-government phone number, some number in Plano, Texas, and it doesn't say what's in the package or who it's addressed to or your name or anything. Please click on the link and provide all your personal information, as if. But there are dumbass people who do that. Anyway, the Insomniac leak is showing that bad guys will do what they can to humiliate, to get information out in the world. Is it bad for us to know that Insomniac's making more Marvel games? Well, Insomniac didn't want to announce it, and Sony didn't want to announce it, so that it's valuable. Does that stuff need to be a secret? I actually don't think so. I mean, if they've signed a contract, you can make the contract public and say, we're going to do these games. Like, think back to EA and Star Wars. EA announced, 10 years ago, we're making the next 3 Star Wars games. Like, we knew that, right? But I think that because Insomniac is a Sony-owned studio, that the implication on making a Wolverine game or making the next, 20 Marvel games is that they'll all be PlayStation exclusive. And I think that Sony wanted to time those announcements with promotions on PlayStation 5. So it does hurt Sony, right? If you can't create something that's newsworthy and creates buzz. And what the leak does is it takes away the wow factor of each of those announcements. And announcing 10 games one at a time is more impactful than announcing, they're doing the next 10 games. So yeah, it hurt Insomniac, it hurt Sony in a bad way, and it's really not anybody's business other than Marvel and Insomniac, who has the rights to make those things. As a gamer, I'm delighted that Insomniac is making these games because they're so freaking great at storytelling. And in particular, Wolverine, I mean, you take a Marvel character that actually has a personality, and they get to shape that. I think that's fun. Many Marvel characters have no personality. I'd say Black Widow, maybe the movie, but Hawkeye, none. So I think it's fun to see that that Disney/Marvel has so much confidence in these guys. And I have to say, I knew this from the first time I met Jay Ong, who is the Marvel Games guy. I asked him why was that first Spider-Man game that they made an exclusive for PlayStation, and he said, because Sony gave us this marketing plan that we loved, and Insomniac really wanted to make it, and we just love Insomniac. And I could tell there was this absolute love affair between Marvel and Insomniac. So it's not a surprise to me that they got more, but the hacker took away any kind of imagination about it, and that hurts everybody. Does it make gaming companies more likely targets? Gaming secrets don't have a tremendous amount of value to the consumer public. They're just harmful because they hurt the ability to market the announcement. They'll make money if they hold the secret hostage and they call up the company and say, if you don't pay us $1 million, we're going to release this. And I think proving out that they could do it makes, whether those guys go to jail or not, we'll find out, what happens with the courts. But ultimately, that's probably their goal, to prove once that they can do it, and then use the fact that they can do it as holding the companies hostage and saying, okay, now we're going to release your bank records, JP Morgan Bank, or your credit card records, or or your government contracts if it's Boeing or something. Sure, but it kind of highlights the need for really secure systems. And to be fair, I think that what this all does is accelerates the use of cloud storage. These secrets shouldn't be on anybody's PC. They should only be in the cloud. They have to be secure, because once they're hacked, then nobody's safe. Better to have everything with one of three giant vendors who goes out of business if they let your information get hacked. The answer on the secretiveness, if that's a word, I think that there's a reluctance for the licensor to announce that they've granted a license. The Wolverine build, where the game looks done, that puts pressure on Sony. Where's the Wolverine game? We want it now. And they're probably contractually prohibited from releasing it until 2 years from now. But that also puts pressure on everybody. If the game is done, why don't I have it now? I want it now. I think that you've got to let these companies release the games either when they're contractually obligated to, or when they think the market is right. And they, knowing Insomniac, and Sony, they may want a year or more in between each Marvel release. They may want to stack them and release one every other year for the next 10 years, and there's 5 games. We don't know. But they're secretive because once you know that something is happening, you want it to come out right away. So why no GTA trailer until December of 23? Because the game's coming in 25. And they didn't want to release a trailer in 2018 that said coming in 2025. That's why. You take away and once they release a trailer, now everybody's talking about there's an expectation. You don't want that buzz to fade, 5 years later, because we're still waiting for the game. I think that's why game companies are secretive, but a lot of it is they're just anal. With the film and TV industry, when the actor is hired and when shooting happens. The film industry is that secretive because they don't film movies 5 years in advance. Like a movie development, maybe the script, but the script isn't actually sold until the film is greenlit. So movies, they can't keep it a secret when James Cameron is in Hawaii filming scenes for Avatar. We know they're filming the movie, but even that movie, even though they announced it, remember when Avatar 1 came out? December of 2009. Look it up. It took, 13, 14 years for Avatar 2 to come out? That's crazy. So it hurts the film, I think, when we know for 13 years it's coming out, and it helps when we know a year and a half or two. Film isn't really any more secretive. They announce things when they have to, and they have to when the actors are actually showing up on set. And if you ever sit and watch the credits for a film, there's like 500 people involved. That's too many people to keep a secret. 500 people in a rock star studio, they'll keep a secret. 500 people going to work every day on location, everybody in their family knows, their kids know, their kids are telling their friends, my dad is filming in Hawaii, he's filming Avatar. It just gets out. Where the rock star guys probably go home and don't tell their wives how close they are to finishing the game every night. I would imagine Ted Price's wife knows what he's working on, but I doubt that most of the other developers tell their wives we're working on the Wolverine game, or if they do, their wives are cool about it. I'm sad that this happened to Insomniac, but it happened. Yes, there will be other gaming targets. Yes, gamers will be delighted to find out what everybody's working on. Yes, the companies will be hurt because they'll lose the marketing opportunity. But truthfully, the hackers aren't going to make any money. Thank you for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. Reminder, if you can afford it, a Patreon patronage would be great. If you can afford it, subscribing to YouTube would be great. The easy one, though, is stick it to Amazon. You're already paying for it. You're paying $139 a year. So it's like something like $11 a month. You're paying $12 a month. You're paying $12 a month for Amazon Prime. And this is free, and they give us a couple of bucks. Stick it to them. It's free. They will pay Shane. It costs you nothing. Please link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account, even if you're a Patreon patron, and even if you're a YouTube subscriber, because it's free money, and take advantage of your Amazon subscription. You've already paid for it. Why would you not?